Operation Dudula, a controversial South African movement, has come under intense scrutiny and criticism for its recent campaign to ban foreign children from public schools starting in 2026. This divisive proposal has sparked heated debates across the nation, raising concerns about xenophobia, human rights, and the future of education in South Africa. The movement, known for its anti-immigrant stance, argues that prioritizing South African children in the education system is necessary to address the country's high unemployment rates and limited resources. However, critics argue that such a policy would be discriminatory, unconstitutional, and harmful to South Africa's international reputation. Operation Dudula's campaign has gained traction among some segments of the population who feel that foreign nationals are taking opportunities away from South Africans. Supporters claim that the influx of immigrant children puts a strain on already overcrowded classrooms and limited educational resources. They argue that by reserving public school spots for South African citizens, the quality of education for local children would improve. On the other hand, human rights organizations, education experts, and many South African citizens have strongly condemned the proposed ban. They argue that education is a fundamental human right that should be accessible to all children, regardless of their nationality or immigration status. These critics point out that such a policy would violate both South African constitutional law and international agreements on children's rights. The Department of Basic Education has distanced itself from Operation Dudula's campaign, stating that it does not support any form of discrimination in schools. Education officials have emphasized that South Africa's constitution guarantees the right to basic education for all children within the country's borders, regardless of their nationality or legal status. Legal experts have weighed in on the debate, highlighting the potential constitutional challenges that such a ban would face if implemented. They argue that the proposed policy would likely be struck down by the courts as a violation of the right to equality and the right to education enshrined in the South African Constitution. The controversy surrounding Operation Dudula's campaign has also drawn attention to the broader issues of xenophobia and social integration in South Africa. The country has a history of xenophobic violence, with periodic outbreaks of attacks against foreign nationals. Critics argue that campaigns like this one only serve to fuel tensions and promote division within communities. International organizations, including the United Nations Children's Fund UNICEF, have expressed concern over the proposed ban. They emphasize the importance of inclusive education policies that promote diversity and foster social cohesion. These organizations warn that excluding foreign children from public schools could have long-term negative consequences for both the affected children and South African society as a whole. Educators and child psychologists have also spoken out against the campaign, highlighting the potential psychological impact on foreign children who would be denied access to education. They argue that such exclusion could lead to increased social isolation, mental health issues, and a cycle of poverty for immigrant families. Some South African citizens have organized counter-campaigns and protests to show solidarity with immigrant communities and oppose Operation Dudula's proposal. These initiatives aim to promote inclusivity and celebrate the diversity that foreign nationals bring to South African society. The debate has also sparked discussions about the state of South Africa's education system and the need for comprehensive reforms to address overcrowding, resource shortages, and quality issues. Some argue that instead of targeting foreign children, efforts should be focused on improving the overall education infrastructure to benefit all students. Political analysts have noted that the campaign reflects broader tensions around immigration and resource allocation in South Africa. They point out that while concerns about strain on public services are valid, scapegoating foreign children is not a constructive solution to the country's complex socio-economic challenges. As the controversy continues to unfold, there are calls for a national dialogue on immigration, education, and social integration. Many believe that addressing these issues requires a nuanced approach that balances the needs of South African citizens with the country's humanitarian obligations and commitment to human rights. The government faces pressure to take a clear stance on the issue and to reaffirm its commitment to non-discrimination in education. Some officials have suggested that rather than banning foreign children, efforts should be made to ensure that all schools have the resources and capacity to provide quality education to all students, regardless of their background. Education experts have proposed alternative solutions to address the concerns raised by Operation Dudula supporters. These include increasing funding for education, improving teacher training, and implementing targeted programs to support both local and foreign students who may be struggling academically or socially. As the 2026 deadline proposed by Operation Dudula approaches, it remains to be seen how this contentious issue will be resolved. The outcome of this debate could have far-reaching implications for South Africa's education system, its stance on immigration, and its reputation on the global stage. In conclusion, the campaign by Operation Dudula to ban foreign children from public schools in 2026 has ignited a fierce debate about education, human rights, and national identity in South Africa. While supporters argue that it would prioritize opportunities for South African children, opponents condemn it as discriminatory and harmful as the country grapples with this complex issue. Finding a solution that upholds the rights of all children while addressing legitimate concerns about resource allocation will be crucial for South Africa's future.